Hello dreamers, welcome back on my channel. Today we are making a simple scene. I want to show you everything. That is my workflow. We'll start from Procreate for the idea and the design. We'll then move on to Dreams to bring it to life. So if you are interested in how to make a scene like this, watch the video until the end. Let me know in the comments if you want more tutorials like this. And I remind you to support the channel by subscribing, if you haven't already done. Put like, hype, everything. Thank you. Let's start right here from Procreate. Canvas size 4500 pixels by 6500 pixels. Some of you are stuck when you see the blank canvas. Let's try to unblock this step. What I want to do is start creating a landscape, and I have no idea what the setting might be yet, but I want to start creating something. The red rectangle you see in the center is not the rectangular version of the Japanese flag, but it's the reference of what the scene will be on Dreams. If you haven't seen the previous tutorial, you know what I'm talking about. But let's move on. First of all, to create a landscape, I need a bit of perspective, and to create it, first I mark a center. With the vector brush, I draw a small circle, and with the snap active, I bring it to the center of the scene. Next step, I add a perspective drawing guide, whose center is obviously at this point. This is a small reference, obviously, but it helps you to imagine. The blue line could be our horizon, and the lines under a ground. The ideas might still be stuck, but let's go step by step together. I don't have a clear idea of what I want to do either, but let's start by giving the scene a horizon. With the black color and the syrup brush, I start to draw something. I use this brush because it's really versatile, especially in different sizes. I draw the horizon, and following the perspective of the lines that start from the center, I create a terrain. Without being precise, at this stage I just need to create depth. At this point it occurs to me that we could create a rocky landscape. Does it seem bad to you? Well, it's, but it must be a starting point. And we always take into account the rectangle when we export the project to Dreams. It will be what we'll see inside the scene. Now it occurs to me that beyond this horizon there could be other rocks that I can see, and so I go and draw some spikes. This element accentuates the depth of the scene. My mountains is so beautiful. I can also add some lines like this for the sky then. Always thinking about perspective. Now that we have the landscape, I have to create elements that will then have to bring to Dreams. Here I remove a bit of opacity, and here I darken the background a bit. First of all, I want to draw the mountains at the bottom. Let's try with this brown. Let's get back to the vector brush because I need the edges to be precise. And on a new layer I start drawing. Darken it a bit, ok. Even in this case I don't want to be too precise. The important thing is that the edges don't have any lines that stick out. Keep attention, I'll speed up the video now. Ok, now with the selection tool, fill the shapes. Now, as you will see, my goal is to work very quickly, creating simple but still scenic backgrounds. For this reason, I will do most of the staging work on Dreams. The only thing I add to these rocks is a texture with a darker color. And I add the textures with this eggs brush. I'll set alpha lock on layer, resize a bit, and I draw like this. This brush is really versatile and allows me to create a bit of three-dimensionality to a shape like this just by adding it. Okay, great. I'm hiding this element for now. I want to add the terrain. But we have to think about when we'll be on Dreams. Then we'll arrange it in perspective. For this reason, now I take this brown again, and on a new layer I fill the canvas. And again with the X brush I add textures with a darker color. Okay, with these few elements I can already create a dynamic environment within Dreams. The only thing I still want to add is the color of the sky, for example with this red color. And fill the canvas. So now exit the project and bring it directly to Dreams, set a new project and put here. Convert drawing to tracks. I take the reference rectangle again, and as you can see, it's perfectly aligned with the scene. Next step, bring the landscape sketch to the foreground. This will help me arrange the elements in the correct way. I increase the opacity a little. Here we have our center. We'll try to recreate the scene with the elements we have. The first layer we need is the ground, that I move above. And with the distortion tool, I'm going to put it into perspective. By holding down, we look out onto the center of the scene. Our horizon at this point, and for the perspective to work, we'll have to widen the vertices at the bottom, a lot like this. A little longer. Okay. Do you see how the textures we added give the perception of perspective, with larger shapes in the foreground that get smaller as they move towards the horizon? What I do now is move the whole project down a little. I want the sky to fill the scene more. I can also change the anchor point on the ground to squash the shape a bit, so that the foreground textures appear even bigger. We'll then see with the animations that we'll add how it will be better to set it up. At this point the scene is still a bit flat. I must first create a separation between the rocks in the background and the ground. But first I want to make them smaller a bit and move them to this point. Okay, I think here is good. Now I double the sky, I bring above the rocks, I move downwards, and simply add a blur. Already in this way we can create a separation between the ground and the rocks in the background. The scene still seems a bit bare. I think I want to add some shapes, such as stones, to create more depth. Let's go back to Procreate for a moment, because I want to add some elements that add even more perspective to the scene and give it a more cinematic feel. So I'm going back to using the syrup brush to create some new sketches. I add a band of stones that we'll see in the foreground. like this. I add a second band with smaller stones here. Okay, now I can redraw them better. We'll do as before with the same shades and textures. The important thing is to keep the foreground stone layer separate from the background one. There will be two separate layers because I will have to move them on Dreams in a different way. Now I speed the video for the full process. So I got two layers of stones that I just have to import into Dreams. I can group them and bring directly as a group on Dreams. Bringing the group from Procreate, the layers will remain side by side. Now I'll fix them. Fill the duration. OK. Now I have to give them an HSB filter, otherwise you won't see anything. I'll darken them a bit. I'm moving this up. OK. I'm moving this one a bit too, and resides. OK. With just a few elements you can already see a depth compared to before. Now the scene appears decidedly more three-dimensional. I want the ground and the rocks to be more distinguishable, so I am going to darken the background a bit with an HSB filter. I also remove a bit of saturation. Next step, we'll try to add a first animation, for example a parallax effect. Let's try to understand what good can come out of this scene. I start with the ground. I want to distort it further, and to be precise, I squash it until I connect it to the edge of the scene. To create this ground parallax effect, I will simply distort the ground by adding another keyframe in the timeline. Then choosing an initial keyframe at 0 seconds and setting another one, for example here, at 10 seconds. At the starting point, I distort the shape like this. By moving a vertex, I can already create a very interesting effect. Positioning the shape this way allows you to create a perfect parallax effect, where what is in the foreground moves faster than what is in the background. I make sure the movement is constant for these 10 seconds with the linear trend curve. I'm widening the shape a little bit farther down again. This is because we might need to add some camera movements, and to be safe I need the shape to come out of the scene frame a little bit. I can turn these elements back on because we'll have to move them for the parallax effect to work. With the Move and Scale tool and with the same timing of the distortion animation, I add the animation also on the first foreground elements. The ground moves in this way. We have to make sure that the rocks move in the same way, as if they were actually anchored to the ground. In the initial keyframe, then I move the rocks to the right. Trend curve to linear. And the effect already works very well. The rocks in the background will also move, but for the effect to really work, they will definitely have to move much less. With the same timing in the timeline, I also add this animation. So at the beginning I move the stones a little to the right, but only a little. I delete Y to not change the height. Let's do a test. They move a bit too much. I'll delete X for repositioning. Okay, now better. Next step, I want to give more focus to the central part of the terrain, where the smaller rocks are, and to do this I will have to add some elements and filters. For example, I can duplicate the layer on the background that creates the sky and bring it above. I want the horizon line not to be so sharp. I move the layer to this height. Here, okay. I want this part to be a little blurry. Now I blur this shape a little with the filter, but not too much. The goal is to eliminate this straight line. I just need to add an alpha mask to this layer, and as you can see, the part of the ground layer that is directly below is hidden and fades away. A little blur that helps to give depth without that sharp cut of the shape that we would have had without. Small details that make the difference. Next step, I want to add some effect on the ground. I duplicate this layer again. This time I want to set a clipping mask. Then I add an HSB filter and darken it. Delete this. Increase the blur filter. Ok. And move the shape below. A little less blur. Okay. This allows me to give greater focus towards the horizon, while also creating much more perspective. To accentuate the effect, I can add a lens blur filter to the stones in the foreground. Let's try with 3%. I think I must darken it a bit. In this way the focus is exactly at that point. If, for example, I wanted to place an object that passes through that point, I would have the perfect focal point. Same goes for the rockies in the background. If I darken them and blur, the effect is perfect. Okay, now I add an HSB filter and darken it a bit. Okay. And if I decide to add, for example, a flying ship, I have the focus perfectly on that point. This makes the scene really cinematic. Well, dreamers, we have reached the end of a new fantastic tutorial that I hope will help you understand what my work process is, which I could call few drawings, maximum result. The goal of this new video series is to introduce you to this amazing world of digital animation, and I hope you will find here a place where you can discover some really interesting things, and with which you will learn and have fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I remind you to leave a comment, like, hype, and above all,